In this video, we'll be installing WDOS Windows Deployment Server on Server 2008. First we'll do is add the service and the roles on the Service Manager. Open Service Manager, we're going to add the role. So role wizard will pop up. We're going to click next and we're going to add Windows Deployment Server. What is Windows Deployment? Provides a simple, secure means of rapidly and remotely deploying Windows operating systems to the computer over the network. So that is what WDOS. W server update service. WDOS server update service allows the network admin to specify the Microsoft updates but install. So what we only want to know is WDOS. So we're going to hit next. Right. If you want to read more about WDOS, you can read more about it. We can say next. These two services, you want to make sure that they are checked. We're going to click next. Install information. We're going to click install. And we'll start the process of installing WDOS as a role on the server. Right, installation completed. Click close. Now under server management, we should see the feature WDOS deployment service. We can click here to see our server, how much service we have. This is the one server. This is our server. Right now it says when the deployment server is not configured. This server is not configured. To configure the server first, like to do, verify that you are local admin and then right click the server and click configure server. So we're going to right click and we're going to say configure server. The wizard will come up and we'll continue with the wizard. We're going to click next. This is the location where to install all your images and install files. It is recommended that you don't put it on your C drive, or if you have a secondary drive you can put it on the secondary drive, but for now we will just leave it on the C drive for this tutorial. I'm going to click next. Here it's a warning pop-up telling you exactly what I just stated, that it needs to change the volume or install the install file on a different location or different drive. We're going to click yes. Right. If the dynamic configure is a DHCP running on the server, this is telling you if you have a DHCP running on your server that you need to check either one or these two boxes. I'm going to check two because we have DHCP server, DHCP service running on this server. So I'm going to check the both of them and click next. Alright, here you're going to choose the option of what you want to do when WDOS connects to the machine. We want to say remote response to all computer known and unknown. This will say any machine that tries to connect to the WDOS server, it will acknowledge. Respond only to client computers, which means it only responds to client computers. For now we're going to respond to all and require administrative privilege for unknown computers. We're going to check this so we'll have a little bit of security. We're going to say next and then let the service install. Right. Add the images. Here now we can add the images to the server. I'm going to show you how it's going to look like, but then we're going to close it off and then add the images manually. Add the image to the server. We're going to say finish. So we're going to ask you for the path of where the images are stored. So we're going to go through the wizard so you will see how it goes, and then we can add another image manually, the path of the image. So what they're saying is the boot WinI file or the install WinI file that be located or contain the custom images, the image file. So we're going to click browse and we're going to browse to the CD that we have that has the install. So if you have a Windows 7 CD or Windows XP CD to do installation 64 32-bit, you browse to that CD or DVD. We're going to browse to it, and then so we're going to go to the source folder I'm going to say OK. Next, the selected directory does contain valid image. You're going to click browse again. Alright, let's just cancel. I'm going to do it manually. You want to stop? Say yes. So we're going to do it now. Now the server has been configured. You'll see it's turned green. Click the down arrow, and these are the two locations that we're going to install the files. So first we're going to install the boot image files. This is what's required for the image to boot to start installing on the client machine using WDOS. So we're going to right click and say add a boot image, and then file locations we're going to browse to it's telling you exactly the default boot and install image, boot WinRAR and install WinSat located on the install DVD in the source folder. So we're going to browse to the DVD that contains Windows 7. Then we're going to click on the source folder, and then right now we're going to do the boot image file. So we're going to select the boot image and say open, say next, leave everything as default, install, next, leave everything as default, next, and now it's going to add the image to the server so that we can use it to boot. Right, we're going to click finish. Right, and now we're going to do the same thing to install the image files. I'm going to right click, say add new image. You're going to access the creator. Say we don't have a group as yet, so we're going to create a new group. We're going to leave this as image group 1 as a default group. We're going to say next. Yet again, we're going to go to the same source file, and this time we're going to look for the install image. I'm going to hit browse, and here's the install image. We're going to click on the install image. We say open, and we're going to say next, and here is the actual image or the install files of the Windows 7 Enterprise. So we're going to say next, leave everything as default, next, and here it's going to start copying the image onto the server so that we can start the process of creating an image install file. Finish. Let's click finish. Now that we have set the boot INI image and the install image ready deploy on the server, we're going to boot from a Windows 7 machine to connect to the deployment server and start the installation. I'm going to launch virtual machine, boot to L to LAN so I can boot into the Pixie boot. It's connecting to the server. See, IP192.2 file boot INN image is booting, and we'll start the installation of Windows 7. While that's going on, we can take a look at the server and seeing pending, there's no pending multicast drivers, so we could actually see there's no pending, there's multicast transitions. Let's go back to here to see if there's any sessions that's still setting up. Right, the installation is going on. We click next and asking me for administrator privilege to join the domain. That will be your admin account. Right, I have to put my domain. Right, Windows 7 Enterprise, this is the image that we have put on. We're going to click next. Right, next, and we just follow the normal installation as you normally do, installing a Windows 7. Right, so we're going to go through again what we just did onto the server. What we did first, in order to deploy or install the surfaces of Windows deployment surfaces, first thing we did, we went and add the role on the roles. After it add the roles, the Windows deployment server role would here. Then we activate the role and then we install, or we copy the boot image and the install image from off the CD or DVD onto the server, and then we boot from our Windows 7 installation using Pixie Boot to connect to the server and start the installation of Windows 7. That concludes installation of Windows deployment server.